Hello there. Let's take a closer, more detailed look at the B15 INOX machine today. The B15 INOX is primarily designed for beveling tubes and stainless steel sheets. The machine can be used either handheld when we carefully guide it along the edge of the material or with the INOX pipe accessory. Today we will show you step by step how to correctly use the B15 INOX for beveling stainless steel sheet, specifically when using the INOX pipe accessory. The preparation substantially eliminates any vibrations or backlashes caused by lower machine speeds, and for this reason we very strongly recommend its use in practice. In the equipment included with the B15 INOX machine, you will find an Allen key for adjusting the machine, a specialized tubular wrench for mounting and dismounting the milling head, a pin to secure the spindle against rotation, and a copper washer under the milling head, the purpose of which we will explain a little later. In the suitcase with the INOX pipe preparation, you will then locate the actual product itself. Auxiliary clamp. An auxiliary handle for machining flat steels. Angular designation and labeling of milling heads is primarily intended for use without the INOX pipe fixture. When the INOX pipe fixture is used, the machine's position, and therefore the orientation of the milling heads, are rotated by 90 degrees. We must take this into account carefully and precisely when selecting the correct milling head for the intended operation. In other words, if a 30-degree angle is required, we choose a head with 60 degrees, or if 60 degrees is required, we choose a head with 30 degrees. In the specific case of a 45-degree angle, the milling head remains unchanged. Further information can be found in the official operator's manual. Before assembling the machining unit, we have removed the guiding disc, and now we will install the milling head. One more important warning. It may occur that, during a future replacement of the milling head cannot be loosened. Under the intense loading of the tool during milling, the milling head on the spindle is effectively immobilized. This can be prevented by treating the tool clamping bore with graphite or copper lubrication paste to counteract seizing. An alternative measure could be a copper backing plate, which is newly added to machines or can be purchased separately. We install a spacer between the tool and the spindle thread. Now we will proceed to install the INOX pipe preparation onto the machine. But first, we will make sure that both threads are completely clean and free of any debris. By gradually turning the clamping nut, we carefully adjust the correct position of the milling head. The lower edge of the cutting insert must never be higher than the edge of the support ring at all times. Ultimately, we will securely and precisely tighten 3 securing screws that lie along the circumference of the nut. We will proceed to install an additional handle. To ensure a safe and smooth entry of the machine onto the material, we install a so-called entry plate. We'll use the machine with the supplied proper clamp. The entry plate can be any scrap of material with the same thickness as the workpiece. Before mounting the work-holding fixture onto the sheet, first move the milling head away from the machined work area by turning the adjustment screw, and then with the second screw, carefully open the guiding rollers to create a sufficiently large space for sliding the fixture onto the machine sheet. Next, we position the inox pipe fixture onto the machine sheet so that the guide ring, or if needed, any one of the auxiliary guide gauges, remains in contact with the machined edge of the material. We will tighten it. We can determine that the fixture has been properly actuated when the installed disc springs are fully flattened. Let's locate a reference point, or, as we often say, the zero reference point. We will accomplish this by turning on the machine and using the depth of cut adjustment screw to gently begin moving the milling head toward the material. Note, before starting this operation, ensure that the milling tool is sufficiently retracted and does not touch the edge being machined. To correctly set the cutting depth, use the installed scales. For the first cut, we recommend setting a maximum of 4 millimeters as a safe maximum. For every subsequent cut, a maximum of 2 millimeters should be used. Be sure to securely tighten the nut on each adjustment, ensuring the setting stays fixed. Attention! Make the cutting depth adjustment only during machine operation. For flawless operation of the device, use only the installed handle. Using the handle, move the jig in the direction of machining, i.e. from left to right. For machining stainless materials, it is advisable to treat the cutting area with moly inox cutting oil. We proceed in the same way in other cuts. I look forward to the next video.